up, YouTubies? I'm Corzy from Game Legit, bringing you Battlefield Bad Company 2 Rush Game Involved Paraiso. There's a bunch of stuff I want to talk about in this video, and I might not be able to address all of the Strat because I'm going to talk about vehicles, and I'm also going to talk about my class specifically in this part 1. Remember, this game actually took 30 minutes long, and so it's going to be broken up into 3 different parts. It's not, the greatest montage clip game in the entire world, but it brings in a lot of good footage, a lot of good strategy, a lot of pretty clutch MCOM station arms and defending it. And so I hope you guys enjoy that, and a lot of the stuff that I got from in this game I wanted to show you guys and talk about, because there's a lot of versatile vehicles. I get into tanks, I get into a helicopter, it might be brief, but there's a lot of stuff going on. Arming MCOM stations, making unique routes to the MCOM stations, using unique styles of play and tactics to be able to be successful in these MCOM stations. A lot of good communication with me, and if you can see my squad in the HUD, with the clan tag GL for Gaming Legit. My buddy, I was communicating it with him quite well, and we performed pretty well in this game, and I ended up posting up a fairly decent score. So I'm going to jump right now into the class. This weapon is the MG36. Some of you might be familiar with it, some of you might not. The unique thing about this light machine gun is the fact that it has a built-in scope. And so if you have the MG36 and you're putting the red dot on it, and you're like, the red dot on this gun looks really cool, take off the red dot and you'll notice that the red dot still is on the weapon because it has a built-in scope. And so if you put a scope on this weapon, you just wasted the fact that this gun's unique, and you do not have to put a scope on this weapon. And so what I advise for you guys to do is do what I do. I love using the lightweight perk. It's like my new toy and thing I played with within like the last few weeks or month or so. Just because the mobility your mobility increases, you run a lot faster. But because of that, you can get to these MCOM stations a lot faster and avoid being detected by a team by sneaking into the buildings before they have a chance to be able to see you, or be able to get into the building before you get killed. Lightweight just overall is a great objective game spec option, but if you're using it for other classes, you have to be able to use the iron sights. I actually like the iron sights a lot in this game. I like shooting with iron sights in all games, like the COD series, especially with this game, the iron sights. I just I feel comfortable with it, but a lot of people don't. I shot the testicles off that guy. So what I'm going to do for the strategy in this, firstly, come on, I'm hung up, I can't move out from underneath this dock, like I'm completely stuck, this is the shit in this game that, pisses me off. Now I can't shoot because apparently I'm floating in the water, and I have 2 guys running at me, and just messy, sloppy stuff. Anyways, what can you do? So this class system, try it out. MG36 for the medic, and put lightweight on. You're going to still maintain a red dot scope of sorts, and you also have a lightweight. So basically you have 2 spec 1 options for this class. It makes this gun just an adversary. It's just an awesome class. You guys should try it out. Now I'm going to talk about vehicles. Now, I know I have a bunch of people always asking me about vehicles. Why aren't you posting any vehicles? I've posted close to 40 Battlefield videos now. All of which giving you guys what I think is good strategy and stuff that I hope has helped you in your game. I go to revive this guy, and I should have got the revive because I clicked it, but it's the latent because of my freaking internet connection is absolutely ridiculous. No joke, guys, I've probably said this in my other videos, but I've had Comcast trucks here, like 3 to 4 in our apartment complex. I need it here. Hold up. I need to take a drink from my coffee because my mouth was getting all cotton mouth, and I couldn't talk and pronounce any of my words, and slow. Anyways, Comcast has been at my apartment complex for 2 weeks now straight, and trying to figure out our internet connection because they're just dumbfounded by how shitty the internet here is, and so it makes it really hard to be able to perform in video games, to be able to get you good vids. And so latency with me reviving a guy right there where I click the trigger, but it doesn't actually take effect for the game for another half second, and it prevents me from being able to revive a guy. It gets super annoying. Anyways, that was a little bit of a sidestep. On to vehicles. So vehicles kind of have their own home in this game, unlike other games like World at War, where the vehicles just are fucking annoying. Like, they're just ridiculous. Like, they should be way easier to kill. It should be like Call of Duty 3's vehicles. Call of Duty 3's vehicles were nice because you could destroy them, and if you got into them, you're always like, oh shit, is someone gonna sneak up and drop a, you know, an anti-tank mine into the top hatch and destroy my tank? In World at War, you get into a tank and you're like, all right, all your bitches, you're all gonna die. Like, you can't do anything. Give me your dog tags. You can't do anything about it. In this game, it's kind of like in between Call of Duty 3 and World at War, and I know that's kind of weird for me to associate Call of Duty franchise to this game because this game's way better. But the point I'm trying to make is that you have spec options for your vehicles, and unless they have body armor on, which I notice a lot of people do nowadays, vehicles aren't that hard to destroy if you're willing to give a life to be able to do it. And if you have two teammates that are you know, you're going to go and you're going to destroy that vehicle and you have that conviction, then you will destroy that vehicle. And that's the difference between this game and, like, you know, the Call of Duty franchise. This is nice MCOM station, like, defense right here. Take out those two guys, finish this guy off, just holding down my trigger and mowing down and suppressing all of the people running to this MCOM station, making it so they don't want to run up here. Use all my ammo, throw my one grenade, and then switch over to my M19 and use all that ammo for the final kill. I used every bullet I had, like, at hand to be able to defend that MCOM station. That's a really cool clip. It's like one of my favorite clips. Vehicles. I'm not going to be able to talk about it all. It's probably going to cut out like halfway through a thought, and I'm going to have to carry it on to part 2. So sorry for that, but I do want to address it. Vehicles too corsy. You don't see me get into them too often, but I'm going to leave you with this strat to try to do in your next game. You probably already do it, but if you don't, here's a strat for you. The Blackhawks are awesome spawn points, and what I mean for that is you have one squad member that's going to have a really boring game, but he's playing for the team, so he's not going to care. You get him to be in a Blackhawk, press up on the D-pad so you can steer the vehicle a lot easier. You're trying to drive a helicopter, pilot a helicopter, and the first-person view, it's not going to happen. I haven't been in a vehicle for a super long time, so I don't really exhibit it too well in this game. Just stupid fail on my part, so sorry on that, but just going by my commentary, trust me, press up on the D-pad makes these vehicles a lot easier to maneuver. You could see everything that's going on around you, and it prevents this from happening. Boom. Fucking dead. Nothing I can do about that. Anyways, you have one guy that's going to have a boring game piloting over top of the enemy base above the MCOM stations. And what your squad's going to be doing is choosing that player of your squad to spawn on. And you'll spawn directly into that Blackhawk, and from there you can jump out and parachute onto the MCOM stations. And it's just way better and way more efficient than having to spawn out your base and run all the way over to the MCOM stations over and over and over again. You guys are going to find that you're going to be arming a lot more MCOM stations, and if you guys aren't, you're going to be such a distraction for the defending team that the other squads on your team are going to be able to arm the MCOM stations from running up to them and arming the MCOM stations. It's just a really effective tactic. And if there's a Blackhawk on the map, you got to use it for that. It's not a slaying vehicle. It's not a vehicle that you get into the turrets and you're like, okay, I'm going to kill every single person in sight. The turrets are not that efficient, and so you guys, it's like kind of one of those things that's in the game that's like, okay, we're going to test who's a noob at this game and who's not a noob. If you're a person that gets into the Blackhawk, hops into the turret, and tries to slay everybody, basically you just fall victim to the test, quote, quote, that's in the game. The Blackhawk serves as a cargo, like that's what it's serving. You get into the Blackhawk, look at this, like, it takes that long to get registration, give me a break. One guy pilots it around, it's a spawn point, that's what it is. I'm going to talk about vehicles in part 2 coming up. God bless you guys, love you, subscribe to me if you're new, spread the word guys, get me the subscribers, love you, God bless, peace out.